I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And yeah, here I am. What year is it? It's 2023. And tonight, top of the show, we're going to talk about Michael Jackson. Two of his accusers are now, it seems, according to a report from the LA Times, getting a new chance in their lawsuit against Michael Jackson's production company. Apparently, a letter was sent to the lawyers, and the LA Times is reporting that, yeah, this is now going to be a trial. We shall see if that becomes official. But we're talking about Michael Jackson in 2023. Now, who are the accusers that we're talking about? Very familiar faces. If you saw the HBO documentary, Leaving Neverland, they're the subject of it. Take a look.
Everybody wanted to meet Michael or be with Michael. And then he likes you.
I was 7 years old. Michael asked, do you and the family want to come to Neverland?
There's no thoughts of this is wrong or anything like that.
He told me if they ever found out what we were doing, he and I would go to jail for the rest of our lives. I want to be able to speak the truth as loud as I had to speak the lie.
So the two accusers are Wade Robson and James Safechuck, okay? So the minute we figured out we're doing this story tonight and this is actually happening, I said we've got to call in special guest from New York, investigative journalist, Court TV alum, author of the book, Be Careful Who You Love, Inside the Michael Jackson Case. There she is, Diane Diamond, joining us tonight. Diane, great to see you.
It's been a long time, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you believe that 2023, we're talking about Michael Jackson and two of his accusers tonight?
Hardly, no. I can hardly believe it because I first started covering this story in 1993. Now it's 2023. You're making me feel kind of old here, Vinny. I'm not surprised, though. I mean, he's Michael Jackson. We're going to be talking about him until the day we die because his fan club is still big and active and getting more members every time a young person grows up and discovers his music. And I'm also not surprised, Vinny, because states like California, where that lawsuit is playing out, and New York, where I am right now, they've extended the statute of limitations on cases like this. They're almost encouraging cases like this, criminal cases and civil cases. So, yeah, no, I'm not surprised we're talking about it again and that the whole thing is back in court.
Okay, so let's, you know, there were a lot of accusers through the years, a lot of names and children, etc. Wade Robson, James Safechuck. My memory is that they were actually witnesses or supported the defense when Michael Jackson was on trial, charged criminally?
Yeah, a lot of people think there were two trials, 93 and 2003, and actually there was only one, and only Wade Robson showed up. In fact, he was the lead-off defense witness, questioned by Tom Mesereau, the attorney, and he told a completely different story. He said he had a wonderful childhood under the wing of Michael Jackson, that Jackson had taken him in and his family, and everything was hunky-dory. Well, then, according to Robson, he got married, had his own child, and had not one but two nervous breakdowns, diapering his son, thinking, oh my God, this could happen to my son. Now, that's his version of events. So, you know, if this does go back to trial, Vinny, you know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, you took an oath and you said nothing happened. Now you're saying everything happened. So were you lying then? Were you lying now? How can we even believe you?
So what's unique, obviously, about this case is that Michael Jackson has passed away. He's not the defendant. The defendant is like a production company. So how does that work? Like, why and what role did the production company have, allegedly, in any of this?
Well, the company is made up of people. And, you know, beginning in 1993, when I worked for the television show Hard Copy, I started interviewing people both on background and on camera. Many of them worked for MJJ Productions, and they all told me It was an open secret what Michael Jackson was doing with young boys. Well, really? Well, if that's the case, why didn't you go to the police? I heard from a secretary who said she was warned by the office manager, a woman named Norma Stakos, not to bring her little boy to the office if Michael was going to be there. Norma Stakos was the one who marshaled up busloads of children, mostly young boys, I should tell you, and bussed them to Neverland to have play dates and ostensibly for Michael Jackson to get a look at which boys he liked. So these are the kind of people and statements I think that will come up in court with the plaintiff in this case. There were people inside MJJ Productions who knew what was happening, and they facilitated it. Every time Jimmy Safechuck or his mother or dad picked up a phone and said, hey, I need an airplane ticket to France, or I need a new car, or that secretary I told you about made it happen. So why would you be helping a little boy and his family get whatever they wanted if there wasn't some sort of quid pro quo? So I think that's the kind of thing that they'll focus on. And I have to tell you, Robson and Safechuck have one heck of a good lawyer. His name is Vince Finaldi. He's out in the Los Angeles area, and he's done these cases forever. Catholic priest cases, cases against Nasser, the doctor, and the gymnast case. So he's a bulldog. He knows what he's doing.
So here we are again. We start the whole thing off. It's been so many years. Michael Jackson's not around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, society has changed a lot. Social media is so powerful now. Where do you see the perception of Michael Jackson these days amongst the public and potentially, I guess, amongst potential jurors in a case?
Yeah, that's a good question. So many years have passed, but I think I've had people come up to me after they've read the book or after they watched Leaving Neverland on HBO and said, oh boy, now I believe that he was guilty. No matter that he was found innocent in a court of law, I think now he was probably guilty. And then I've had people come up and say, you know what, I still don't believe it. They're after his money. It's all hogwash. He never had a childhood, poor guy. Nobody understands him. So I think the perceptions were locked in a long time ago, Vinny. If you were a big Michael Jackson fan club member, you're probably still a big Michael Jackson fan club member. But on the other hand, I've had people say to me, you know what, I can't listen to his music anymore because of my perception of him now. So it'd be interesting to see how it does affect a jury out there. It probably, well, I don't know. Will it be in Los Angeles? Will it be a minority jury? Will it be in the North where his last jury was? I don't know. Like you, I don't even know if this is going to get to court.
Yeah, it may not, and sometimes things settle as well, but we shall see. Diane Diamond, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
We got to do
my
this.
Pleasure.
We got to do this in less than like 10 years from now. Like we could maybe make it a little more regular.
You got my number.
Okay, we got it. Thanks so much.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Let's bring in our think tank tonight. Joining us in Atlanta, Georgia, criminal defense attorney Eklund Mercy. Also with us in Phoenix, Arizona, criminal defense attorney and the lawyer who represented Jodi Arias, Kirk Nurmi. And in Washington, D.C., the attorney who represented Johnny Depp in his defamation case and fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, Ben Chu. Good evening, everyone. I bet you didn't think we'd be talking about Michael Jackson tonight, did you? Like, this is, wow. So we'll see. The LA Times is doing this reporting right now, but Eklund, I'll begin with you. What are your initial thoughts here about this case, about how it would play now? It's 2023. Michael's not around. He won't be testifying. You've got these two accusers. They're now grown men. They've said the complete opposite in the past. What are you seeing here in all of this?
Well, okay, I'm not a psychologist or a therapist. I am a lawyer.
Right.
But what I see is that Michael Jackson had almost a superhuman effect on the world. He was he was the definition and the epitome of celebrity. So he literally changed the game with regards to celebrity. He was world renowned. When he passed, I remember there were people who committed suicide because of his passing and news of his passing. With that ultimately being said, if you had a connection to a man that was just like greater than, you know what I'm saying, like just greater than the Beatles, greater than all of them, it would beg the question that you had some type of connection, and him not being there, plus financial situations, plus you having a child, it may cause different things. I've had molestation cases in which, you know, memories can be brought on by other things, and so it's very difficult. I don't see it going to court, as I think it would set a dangerous precedent that if the defendant or the person who committed the crime, then after they passed, you can sue their corporation, which while they were alive, the reason why they had the corporation was to protect them from suits like that. So I don't see it on multiple levels. I think that a psychologist should really, the Michael Jackson effect is a different effect. No person, no human being has had that much of an effect celebrity-wise on the world.
Kirk Nurmi, what do you think's going on here? Do you think this is like a winnable case, number one? If it gets to trial, there's so many different factors here at play.
I do think it's a winnable case. I mean, think about the allegations here. I mean, we're talking about the allegation being that this company was basically facilitating the abuse of children. That is going to connect to jurors in a way that another civil case might not, right? That is something that is going to bring fire to the passion. And I don't think using Harvey Weinstein, Danny Matheson as an example, Ben probably has some thoughts on this, but I don't think celebrity insulates as much as it used to, particularly someone who is no longer with us. I mean, some of the things that Eklund says about Michael Jackson could have been said about Elvis Presley, but he's not insulated in that same way because so much time has passed. I think Michael Jackson is not insulated, and I think if there is enough direct evidence, yes, this case could go to trial and could set some precedents along the way in terms of the protection of children.
Ben, how do you see this one playing out? Will it seem like Michael Jackson is on trial, or will it seem like the accusers are on trial?
Nice to be with you again. I agree with Kirk. I think, Vinny, that this is a winnable case. I think the more you get into the details, the worse it becomes for the defendant. That is, I mean, I was reading that one of the two boys was 10 years old only, and he was brought on tour. And that clearly would call the issue to the attention of the production company. But going back to something Eklund said, I think she raises some really good points about the fairness of the statutes, both in New York and in California, where by definition, you're allowing the plaintiffs to go back 2 and 3 decades. And in this case, of course, Mr. Jackson, unfortunately, is dead. But in other cases, you have memories that have long faded. So I also think she makes a great point about his celebrity, in the unique nature of his celebrity. So perhaps they will focus less on Michael Jackson and more on the negligence of the production company. It's a subtle distinction, but I think if you can focus on, for God's sake, you knew he was taking a 10-year-old boy on concert tour, what conceivable purpose could there have been for that? That's what I would do.
Eklund, do you think the defense here is going to say, no, Michael didn't do anything wrong, and that's part of their defense? Because it's interesting, right? The relationship between the production company and Michael Jackson himself, and are these people facilitating what's happening? Is anything actually happening? Do you point the finger and blame the parents of the children for facilitating it? How do you think all of that could potentially play out?
The issue is that I remember the Michael Jackson trial, and I also remember prosecution really wanting this conviction. They were not playing softball. They really wanted a conviction. He had his day in court. All right. Now, with regards to children and molestation, when they make that outcry, that's usually when it starts, when they made that outcry. In the case of these, the alleged victims, there wasn't an outcry. There was a criminal case, and they had the opportunity to say something. My only issue is that with regards to the victims, I understand that they were children at the time, and I understand, but at the age of 18, why didn't you when he was still alive? Or at the age of 21, why didn't you say something while he was still alive? There were many opportunities, and it just seems really, really convenient right now to bring the charges. To bring this case up. I just think it's going to set a dangerous precedent for when people are passed away, that you can sue their corporation and they do not have the opportunity to defend themselves. And I just think, I don't know. I think it's just legally, it sounds like bad news. Personally, I just think that the precedent that it may set will be a dangerous one.
All right, we will continue to follow all of the developments. Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Ben Chew with us the whole hour.